Let's talk Tanya for the 4th of Elul of a leap year. In today's Tanya, we begin a new letter, chapter 11 of Igeres HaKodesh, somewhat a famous letter. Lahaskilcha bina, it is known as those are the first two words of the letter, which translate as to give you to understand wisdom. And this letter is about the perspective we're supposed to have when life is difficult, painful, and tough. It's a harsh letter, meaning that it is a demanding letter, but ultimately this is the avodah, the service of a chassid. In this letter, there are going to be two big ideas. The first big idea takes us back to that which we discussed at length in Shar Yichud V'Amunah, the idea of perpetual creation. The understanding that it's not as if God created the world some 5,780 something years ago, and ever since then the world just is existing. And if the world is just existing since then, so sometimes something can go wrong. But if we are to understand that actually God is recreating the world at every moment, that means every single aspect of the world, every single circumstance, every single event is being recreated at every moment. And if a person takes the time to think about this seriously, then the conclusion that a person must reach is that there can't be anything bad. In the words of the Alter Rebbe, Ein ra yered milmayla, nothing evil comes from above, because whatever is happening is being created by God at this very moment. But it seems bad, it seems difficult, it seems painful. It is painful. Yes, but that is because, and that is only because, the greatness, the kindness, the goodness in this situation is so great that I can't even experience it. It comes from a place in God which is above and beyond that which I can relate to. That is step number one. Step number two, the Alter Rebbe says. And the Alter Rebbe takes us back to the story of when the Jewish people left Egypt. And the Torah tells us, V'gam Erev Rav, Allah, that there was also a mixed multitudes of the nations of the world that joined them. Why did the people join them? Why not? Here you have a nation that obviously God is coming to their rescue. God pretty much destroyed and decimated the superpower of the time with 10 plagues. God is being amazing to them. We want to join. It's a good life. Now what happens? It doesn't end up well. Why? Because the Jewish people go into the desert, and every single time when the going gets a little tough, there's some sort of setback, whether real or perceived, the Erev Rav, they're the first people to say, that's it, enough, we've had enough, time to go back to Egypt. And why is that? Well, they joined for the good times. They joined because they thought everything would be amazing. The moment they realize things aren't always going to be so amazing, that's it. Forget about God, forget about a relationship, forget about Jewish people, forget about the Torah. And the Alter Rebbe asks us, the Alter Rebbe asks me, the Alter Rebbe asks you, are you Jewish or are you Erev Rav? Are you in this for the benefits, or are you in this because you want a relationship with God? And if when the going gets tough, when things become painful, suddenly you forget about God, that's an Erev Rav instinct. We need to do the right thing because we need to do the right thing. And we need to understand that ultimately everything is good, and maintain and continue and treasure our relationship with God regardless of what life brings us. And if we can do this, the Alter Rebbe says, if we can pass the test, the two-tier test, you might want to say, number one of being able to look at the difficulties in life and realizing it's really God's goodness. Number two, even higher, even deeper, it's not even about whether it's good or not. Ultimately, my life is not even about whether it's good. My life is about my relationship with God. If we can do that, we've passed the test. And then the goodness that we're experiencing, which is disguised, it looks like it's something which is tough and difficult and something which is negative. The goodness in it will be revealed, and we'll experience it as revealed good. With this, we've concluded this chapter of Igeres HaKodesh. Tomorrow we start chapter 12, a new chapter. And once again, we'll be returning to the topic of tzedakah.